Welcome to the Elective Ed Podcast. We are all about creating a supportive community for K-12 special education families. I am your host, Miss Tawny. I have over 20 years of experience in the education industry. I have taught all ages in the public, private, charter, and homeschool settings. On this channel, we will be talking about the current issues in the K-12 school systems and suggest ways that students and parents can better advocate for support. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share with others that might be interested. If you want to see what we are up to, check out the links in the description below. Now, let's tackle our current topic. One of the more confusing parts of the SPED world is goal progress reports. Many parents wonder what exactly is being monitored and why the goals do not line up with the grades. Let's tackle this mystery together. Goal progress reports are attached to the goals that are assigned in the IEP paperwork. They are updated throughout the school year and are typically emailed or shared with the parents during the same intervals that the report card grades from the general education teachers are shared. Goals are attached to any area that the student's disability would affect. For instance, if a student has anxiety and struggles with completing work, then a proper goal would be for that student to complete work with the use of a progress tracker by the due date in 3 out of 6 weeks per grading period. Goals are specific and note the area of concern, method of data collection, number of measured successes, and overall goal timeframe. The case manager uses observation, grade collection, and/or student or teacher conferences to track the data. Sometimes a goal will have a range of trials. For instance, a goal could say a student will use a graphic organizer to write a 5-paragraph essay with 70% success in 3 out of 4 trials per grading period. This goal knows that the student uses accommodation support. In this example, it is a graphic organizer that helps them with their disability in the area of organizing their ideas for their writing. The goal notes what percentage of success the student should achieve, which is at least 70% in 3 out of 4 total essays. Note that regardless of how many essays are actually assigned, the student must have at least a 70% on at least 3 of them within whatever grading period in order to meet or exceed the goal. If they do not meet that grade on their essays, the case manager will note it on the goal progress report. Typically, the beginning of each goal will say by the next annual ARD, which means that the case manager will be tracking the goal for the full year before the next yearly ARD meeting. If a goal notes that it will be tracked for each grading cycle, then the case manager will be looking for the 3 passing essays in each grading cycle, which could be either 6 or 9 weeks, based on your school's determination of a grading cycle. If you homeschool, you can decide which grading cycle you would like to use. When looking at the goals section of the IEP, you might see multiple goals under each subject. This is a requirement if the student struggles with multiple tasks in the required assignments. For instance, if a student struggles to organize their thoughts as well as compose a thesis statement for an essay, that is 2 different goals for writing, one for organization and one for composing a thesis statement. Any area of disability, even behavior, can be assigned a goal. An example of a behavioral goal is if a student struggles to complete work due to anxiety or depression or some other form of a diagnosed emotional need. Then a behavioral goal concerning work completion would be appropriate. Behavioral goals are tracked the same way that academic goals are tracked, through teacher observation and student conferences. Goals are updated once they are met based on the time frame that is given. At minimum, they have to be updated yearly. Now, if a student meets a goal early on in the year, the case manager might ask to do an amendment to update these goals. For instance, if they no longer struggle with writing a full 5-paragraph essay with the support of their organizers and are consistently making a 70% or higher on their essays, then the case manager will take a closer look at any other areas the student may be struggling with in their writing. All of these goals have to be based on the area of disability noted in the IEP. So if the student has a learning disability in writing or reading comprehension, the goals have to be assigned for that specific area. It does become a little more complicated as they get towards the end of their high school years and are able to excel in these goals. The case manager does have to find goals that can challenge the students and bring them up to grade level. The point of the goals is to bring them up to grade level in their area of disability. Once they reach that grade level point, they should be evaluated to see if the area of disability is still an actual area of disability. If the parent doesn't believe their student is meeting their goals or the goals are too low, they can always talk to a case manager to see what evidence and what data they use to get to the conclusions on the progress report. That is an important conversation, and it will help keep both the parent and the case manager stay on the same page regarding the abilities and progress of the student in question. I hope this information is helpful. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and share. Keep an eye out for the weekly releases of new podcast episodes. Also, check out the Elective Ed Patreon page linked below for exclusive content, early release podcasts, and upcoming webinars. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Please comment below and let me know if there are subjects that you are interested in learning about in the world of special education. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next episode.